What is good, everybody, my brothers and sisters? It is Steel Sermon in the house on this Friday evening with another video for you guys. And as I always say, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Links are posted in the description box below. So, it's officially my first Steeler video on this new channel of mine. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the biggest X factor that could be the case for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season, in my honest opinion, for the 2022 season. There's a lot of talk about what needs to be really good for the Steelers, whether it's Mitch Trubisky rising up to the ranks as a starter, if Kenny Pickett's going to get the green light to start week one, defense can stay healthy all season, Minka plays like he earned that extension, TJ Watt, playing like he wants another Defensive Player of the Year. But I think one thing stands out alone as far as the biggest X factor goes, in my opinion. And to me, that goes to the offensive line. Because over the past couple seasons, it's been one of the biggest issues for the Steelers to have the O-line protect the quarterback, regardless if it was Big Ben or Mason Rudolph filling in or whoever. Opening up holes, opening up a run game, blocking, whatever the case was. The O-line was one of the biggest issues for us over the past couple years. And if you're going to be a quarterback on the Pittsburgh Steelers, you just can't have a lot of time to throw behind an O-line like this, or the pocket's going to collapse within 3 seconds and he's going to take a sack. That was the case with Big Ben, and that's why he looked like what he did. Now, granted, we all knew that Big Ben was past his prime, and we all knew that he was done. But additionally, it's going to boost the confidence for younger guys like Najee Harris, who's entering his second season. And any kind of holes that are being open and any kind of run blocking that he gets, that's going to be a big confidence booster as well. Think of it like this. Najee Harris last year was in his rookie year, and he had over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he had the most touches by any running back in the league, if I'm not mistaken, but he had over 1,000 yards on the ground running. That's a massive dub right there, considering we had one of the worst O-lines in the game. So like these factors, these small factors right here, it's going to really inhibit the offense right here. And I think that's going to allow the defense to play honestly, and it's going to allow the defense to just be themselves and not have to worry about, bailing out certain incompetencies from this offense. The schematics, as Mike Tomlin says. However, this offseason, the Steelers did make moves in the offseason regarding the offensive line. And that's why we brought in a guy like James Daniel. That's why we brought in Mason Cole. But it seems to me that we're not entirely sure if both players will contribute or pan out at all. But I'm confident that these two guys, especially with James Daniel more specifically, because if Mitch is going to be our starter week one, if he's going to be our primary starter all season, this guy has experience backing up Mitch. Why? Because he was on the offensive line in Chicago. So he has experience with Mitch. But it just goes with the premise of this video. Adding two pieces to the offensive line like this who have NFL experience, it's going to make this offensive line a little bit more experienced here. And the Steelers do have some of the younger players on this team that need improvements for 2022, but they shouldn't be forced onto the field, in my opinion. Between guys like Dan Moore, Kendrick Green, Kevin Dotson, who got injured last year, Chooks, who I still can't believe is here. I think that's another guy that we absolutely need to move on from. Or any of the guys maybe that are fighting on practice squad to get up on the offensive line. it's going to be a big mix and a big competition to see in a difficult situation as far as the offensive line goes to turn a tough situation into a good one. The main point I'm trying to make with this video is this. This offensive line has potential to be the biggest X factor for the Steelers this year, seeing that we did address it in the offseason, that we now have a quarterback that kind of benefits Matt Canada's offensive system a little bit better. And we have an even mix of younger guys mixed with veterans on this team as far as the O-line goes. So I think that the most important part of this offense this year has to be the offensive line. Not saying that, the quarterback competition and Najee Harris and the receivers that we have aren't important, but I just feel like this offensive line needs to really step it up this year in order for us to be any sort of successful on offense. Because like I said, Najee Harris has been making huge strides as the weeks go by and as training camp goes by even to be one of the best running backs in the league. And we all know that in Alabama, with him being a downhill runner that he is, that he flourishes behind a strong offensive line. I feel like this offensive line and next year's draft, when it's officially Omar Khan's first draft as GM for this franchise, that is going to have to determine the type of player that Najee Harris is going to be. I love Najee Harris. I think he has what it takes to be a star in this league. But it has to come with compliments as well. And it starts with the offensive line. That's why this offensive line has to be the biggest X factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. What do you guys think that the biggest X factor is? Do you think it's the offensive line? Think it's the linebackers? You think it's the interior? Think it's the safeties? The defensive backfield altogether? Let me know what you think. I'm always open for discussion in the comments. And as always, like I said at the beginning, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, and share this channel with all your friends. Help me get my channel back up. Steel Sermon, checking on out for the night. May God be with you all.